Finally, Rocky Swamp has come back on.
Okay. Scared me a little bit. But, I mean, it's one of those things where...
I mean, you know, it is what it is, bro. We're back. We're live. Let's spit up here. We're digging life. Everything's going well.
Yeah. Yeah. Been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Don't want to, make it to where we're putting stuff up every couple days. Y'all get bored with it.
Yeah, really. And, so.
There's not a whole lot to talk about from day to day. You got to wait for some stuff to happen.
That, and then we work.
Yeah, that's the main thing. We work.
So the XFL, you watched it this weekend?
Yes, this past weekend I watched all 4 games.
I watched all I could. I had to work, but I caught the tail end of some. I like it.
Yeah,
I'm sold.
I'm not going to say I'm in love with it.
No.
It's the first weekend, but I can't find anything I don't like about it. I will say that. There's nothing I don't like about it.
I enjoyed it. I like being able to go inside and hear the play calls. That's one thing me and you had talked about. I like how with instant replay comes up, you get to go and watch inside the booth.
You get to listen to
what they're talking about, and that's interesting.
Yeah, because there's always these conspiracies like, oh, they're up there talking about how they're going to screw us and stuff, and
right.
So I like the transparency of it.
Yeah, I like it too.
The first thing you have to do is you have to get it out of your mind that these guys are on the same skill level as the NFL. So you have to look at it as they're not as good as NFL players. There's no superstars. You have to look at it like they said for what's their catchphrase, for the love of football.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be some superstars out of it though.
There might, there might be somebody that can make something.
Cardale Jones looked good.
He didn't look bad.
No, not at all. Now I know everybody's like, he ain't throwing against the NFL defense. He still looked really good. I was really surprised when he came out of college he didn't do better than he did. He was a third-string quarterback at Ohio State, won a national championship.
Yeah.
Dude can play ball, and he's big. But
definitely big.
Yeah. But I have no complaints as long as they don't. It's a lot better than the old XFL. The old XFL was very gimmicky.
Yeah, it was more. They were more looking for like the entertainment side of it, as far as like make it ridiculous, like pro wrestling and stuff.
Right, and the entertainment's there with the on-field interviews or sideline interviews, whatever we'll call it. I love having Pat McAfee on the sideline.
Yeah, Pat McAfee.
That is great. He should call every game in the history of football. To me, I love that guy.
Yeah, dude throws a pick six, and like 15 seconds later, he's got a microphone in his face. Like,
yeah.
What were you looking at out there? Now, they might stop that once somebody gets punched in the face. But
yeah, I think it's one of them things they know they got to do it.
Yeah.
It's part of the deal.
Like they understand it. But, I mean, I love the fact that it's a faster pace. It's only a 25-second play clock versus a 40, so there's not a whole lot of standing around in the huddle.
Yeah.
I love the fact that all the skill players on offense have the coach in their head.
Yeah.
Headset. It makes them be able to line up quicker. You don't have to huddle up. All you have to do is yell out the protection to the offensive line since they don't have it. But I also like the fact that it doesn't shut off. All the way up and even through the play, the coach can talk to the players. So I think that's really cool. It definitely puts the defense at a disadvantage because the coach can look at what the defense comes out in and, put hot routes that the quarterback might not be able to see.
Well, I heard some people complain about that, but I like it because it's a true chess match between coaches in a sense.
I agree.
It's like going into, not comparing it to war, but it's like going into battle. You have a game plan. You know what you're going to do. This is the battle plan. We're going to attack here, attack there. You go out. You see what the enemy has. And then you might have to change some things. Let's attack this way. Instead of going over, let's go under. And they still have to execute.
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
just because I can tell you what play to run and help you through a hot route doesn't mean you're going to catch the ball when it's thrown to you.
Yeah, that's true. And there's going to be a lot of drops. There's going to be a lot of turnovers in this league. They're just not at the same skill level. But if you can watch college football, you can watch XFL.
Oh, yeah, easy.
I like the fact that the referee crew has designated the ball spotter instead of having to run it over from the sidelines.
That helps time.
Wherever the ball is coming from. That definitely makes things quicker.
I think there's some actual things in there that the NFL could pick up.
I guarantee you within the next couple of years, the NFL is going to adopt the kickoff rule that they have.
I love it.
Yeah, it ensures a kickoff return. One of the most exciting plays in football it used to be. And now they've figured out a way to make it safer, where instead of running 40 yards down the field and plowing into somebody, it's only a 5-yard gap.
Yeah.
So I enjoy that because I love kickoff returns. And they're almost ensuring punt returns, too, because the gunners can't take off till the ball's actually punted.
Right.
So in the NFL, the gunners are already down there because they get to go at the snap of the ball. So there's a lot of fair catches.
Well, yeah.
And I understand the safety aspect for it, but I mean they still have targeting in the XFL and stuff like that. You can't just go out there and light somebody up and not have any repercussions for it. But so far, I'm definitely digging it. I love it too because I don't have a team.
Oh, you're gonna say? I was going to ask you, do you have a team?
I don't have a team, and
I don't either.
That's awesome because now you can just really watch the game and enjoy the game for what it is instead of having some sort of emotional attachment to it.
Right.
I watch a Panther or a Tennessee game, I end up pissed off half the game, and even after a win, I might still be upset because we didn't beat them more. We didn't capitalize more, or
right.
Somebody got hurt or whatnot. There's emotions involved in it, and I don't have that with the XFL because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what most of you sports fans do, and I'll wait to see who wins the championship, and then I'll go buy all their stuff and say that I've been a fan day one.
You really didn't put that out there like that.
I did put that out there like that.
No, I enjoy it.
Talking to you Bama fans.
Yeah, Boise State fans.
Oregon fans.
Golly. They're everywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
But
Georgia fans now.
Yeah, Clemson. All of them. Some of you might have been Clemson fans.
Speaking of which, this is kind of off the subject, but Lisa, my wife, somehow with her job, something happened where there was a guy that owned a Volkswagen Bug that was decked out orange, Tennessee. It's called the Tennessee Bug.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was telling me about it, so she looks it up on Facebook. He switched it to the Clemson Bug. What a piece of crap that guy is.
Yeah. Bandwagon jumper.
Yeah, that's terrible. He and he's still got the pictures where he's up at Neyland Stadium with the Tennessee Bug, but now his most recent pictures, he's at the Clemson at Death Valley with the Clemson Bug. You
got to be with a winner.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. There's if you're a big fan of college football, there's some names in the XFL you're gonna recognize, like Cardell Jones, Cameron Artis-Payne,
Aaron
Murray. There's just a few. What's his name?
Khalil McKenzie.
Yeah, he's offensive lineman there now.
Yeah.
I actually told you that the other day.
Yeah, I didn't realize
watching
that.
it. Well, because he got a penalty, you don't know he's on there until he gets in trouble.
And then I didn't realize it, but Coney Ely, who used to play for the Panthers, he's a defensive lineman on one of the teams.
And then he was back at quarterback for Carolina. How you say his name?
Heineke.
Yeah. He plays. Can't remember which team.
That's also another thing that I think is really cool with this league, if it can stay, is college players. If they get passed over in the NFL, they still have an opportunity to play pro football. If they're not good enough to make it in the NFL, then they can still go to the XFL, and maybe somebody will, say, "Hey, this guy, we must have missed on this guy. We can pull him up to the big leagues."
Yeah, or come from a small school and just
play pro
didn't
football.
get noticed. That happens.
That gives them more opportunities because, and that's what I like too, is these guys aren't making millions of dollars either. They're playing because they love the sport.
Right.
I mean, they're not getting a terrible paycheck, I wouldn't think, but they're not going to be comfortable like NFL players are.
Right.
So you have to love the game, and these guys they're hitting out there.
Yeah, and I think from what I could tell by the stadiums, I didn't look it up, but it looked like ticket sales pretty good.
Decent. I mean,
first week.
It's going to be the lower bowl, and that might be what it is too. Is there's it's the first week. A lot of people probably didn't want to spend the money. Maybe they want to sit at home and watch it first.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe now the ticket sales will start creeping up there because they're like, man, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But the bad thing is, the thing that I fear is the things that we like about it, you're not going to be able to experience in person. You're not going to be able to hear the play calls. You're not going to be able to, the transparency that you're going to have to stay home to watch that. But
that's true.
You know what I mean? That's the only thing that because I think that draws a lot of people to watch it is the people wanting to hear play calls and stuff like that. But I don't know. That's just a theory.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I literally just thought about that.
So smart.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to say I enjoyed it. Plan on watching some this weekend if I get the opportunity.
I think I'm gonna try to catch some on Sunday. I got plans for tomorrow, so I won't be able to catch none of it.
Right. So, speaking of football, Myles Garrett reinstated. Agree? Disagree?
He's not a.
And this is as of today.
Yeah, as of today, he's not a. I'm not going to just say that he's a habitual offender or anything like that. What he did was pretty egregious, and I've went on record saying that he should probably never play football ever again. Just because there's unspoken rules. You don't take somebody's helmet off and use it as a weapon. But I don't feel like 6 games is enough. I think it should have been at least a whole year, maybe even 2 years.
I think that's too much.
Possibly, but at least a whole season. You're banning people a whole season for using steroids.
Yeah, well, I think the NFL's hands was kind of tied because, he made the statement that he was Mason Rudolph called him
N-word.
That. So, and there's no, you're not going to know if he did or he didn't.
But see, I've got a problem with that.
So.
My problem with that is he waited till he had got suspended days later before he even mentioned anything about that. If you were that upset about it, to pull his helmet off and hit him in the head with it, that would have been the first thing that I would have came out of my mouth. I did it because he said this.
Yeah.
I think it's a narrative that they cooked up.
I mean, possibly, yeah. But I mean, how we don't know.
I'm just saying
and they're stuck there and they don't know.
Most people that I've talked to and said, if that was the case, that'd have been the first thing I would have said.
Well, yeah,
I would have justified it immediately. That's why it happened.
I agree, but like I said, I think the NFL's hands were kind of tied with that.
I mean, I could see.
There's no proof that he did, but then again, there's no proof that he didn't. It's
but
word
then the
against
NFL
word.
did say that or I don't know if it was the NFL, but somebody came out and said that they didn't find any proof at all that anything was. Which I don't know how you do that.
I don't know. I mean, the Pouncey was there, and he took it for his quarterback.
You figured if he said it, somebody else would have heard it as well.
You would think
his teammates would have been just as mad at him, rightfully so.
You would think,
but I don't know. It's
hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't. All that aside, 6 games. I think it's decent. I don't think he should have been suspended a whole year, not ever played football again. It's just. I mean, it was in the heat of the moment. I do feel like Mason Rudolph kicked him or tried.
Yeah, probably.
It's football, man. Things happen. And
emotions run high, but you still.
There's fights. There's fights constantly in spring practice and in practice and in training camp.
But not.
There's always fight. He lost his helmet. It happens, bro. It ain't like he hit him hard. It didn't even bleed.
I don't know. It looked pretty bad.
Did he have a concussion? No. Was there blood? No. I mean, I think the NFL probably. I mean, any news is good news, right? Any coverage is good coverage.
I mean, yeah.
So, for the NFL, I mean,
any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah. So, I don't really care. Let us know what you think. But, staying on football, we didn't talk about this earlier when we were just doing the rundown. But did you think Tom Brady's leaving New England?
I think he's strong arming them. I think he's threatening to leave so that
they get him help.
I don't think he has any desire to leave New England. He's been there his entire career. And we've talked about it in the past. Nobody remembers Joe Montana as a Chief or Jerry Rice as a Seahawk.
Jerry Rice played for the Seahawks?
Yeah.
I thought it was the Raiders.
He played for the Seahawks for like a year or two.
Huh.
Yeah, exactly. See, nobody remembered that.
No. I mean, Emmitt Smith playing at Arizona. That's just weird.
Nobody really remembers except for Panthers fans Reggie White being there for a season.
Kevin Green.
Yeah, but here's the thing. His best chances of winning championships is in New England, and he understands that. He's familiar with the organization, with the coaches, with the players. So I don't think he's going anywhere. I think once they go out in free agency and get him some help, I don't think he signs till they get help, though. It's not one of those things where he's a priority now.
Right.
They're going to have to sign the help first and then get Brady.
And I don't think it's a money issue.
No, it's not a money issue. He's made more money than anything that he could ever spend, probably.
Yes.
So it's not money. It's more of a, I don't want to waste my last years of my career.
He's very competitive.
Yeah.
And so.
Speaking of which,
is he walking in or out of the stadium? Nobody knows. What?
Did you hear about David Tepper saying that depends on Cam Newton's health whether he comes back?
I did see that.
And
a lot of people are split on that.
Here's what I would do. Okay.
Right.
Cam Newton's what, 30 years old?
I don't know, probably.
If he does come back healthy, how many years do you think you'll get out of him?
4 at the most, maybe 5.
4 or 5, okay.
I think.
So you're bringing him back. You're going to sign him for a contract for what, 4 or 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that if he's ever going to get injured again.
Right.
Okay. There's been rumors of Phillip Rivers coming to Carolina as a free agent. He's definitely a free agent. He's out of the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
I say we go and pick up Phillip Rivers, get rid of Cam, trade him, drop him, whatever, save that cap space, go and draft one of these young quarterbacks and let them learn under Phillip Rivers for 2 or 3 years, pull the Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre thing.
I think that's a great idea. However, I think Miami is going to do that before Carolina gets the chance.
Probably. Because we always sit on our hands in free agency.
Yeah. And everybody's like, well, he went to NC State. He's a Carolina guy. Phillip Rivers is a Florida guy.
Yeah.
He came to NC State because Chuck Amato left Florida State.
Yeah.
So he's not a Carolina guy. He is a Florida boy, born and raised, not a Carolina kid. But I think that's a great idea, and I've even said that, and I wish they would do that. But I feel like Miami's going to do that with him and then draft Tua. I think. We'll find out the night of the draft. But I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I could see that.
I
hope not.
We're going to do a live coverage of the draft, right?
As far as I know.
Planning on doing that.
Yeah,
at least first round.
First round.
Yeah, not the whole thing. But I agreed wholeheartedly with that. However, I don't think Phillip. I think he'll do them. I think Miami will do that.
They're obviously in full-on rebuild mode in Carolina, and
yeah, and it stinks because we got one of the best running backs we've ever had, and
the best running back we've ever had.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
there's no way. There's no way
doubt
around
about it.
that.
But he's going to end up getting used and abused. I'm afraid
that's the only person we have on that team, really.
Yeah, and the offensive line's got to be rebuilt.
But yeah, I would much rather have if we get a young.
But who would you draft? Because you got to think about it. So you got.
Well, it's not going to be Tua. Miami's going to get Tua.
There's Justin Herbert, and he's not going to be there, I don't think.
He'll be there.
You think Herbert will be there?
I think he'll be
There's
there.
some people saying he'll go in front of Tua.
That's a possibility. I
don't think he should. I don't think he's that good. No offense to Goins or the Ducks, but I don't think that Herbert's that good. He's okay.
I didn't watch enough of him.
Well, I watched a little bit. He just don't. Obviously, Burrow's going first.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And I don't think they're going to give up that number one spot to get him. It would be great to have Joe Brady and Joe Burrow in Carolina, but I don't think there's any scenario where we jump up to the number one pick.
No, we ain't got nothing to give for the number one pick. Unless it's McCaffrey.
Future draft picks.
And McCaffrey.
No, they're not going to give up
No, that's what I'm saying. But, so, there's Burrow. Let me think a minute. There's Burrow, Tua, Herbert.
Jake Fromm. Jacob Eason.
Jalen Hurts.
There's
6, and we're 7th pick?
Yeah.
And Chase Young's probably going to go number 2. So somebody's going to be there.
There's going to be plenty of people that's going to be there. It's just.
But of who's left, who would you take?
If I had to pick,
looking at what Lamar Jackson's done in Baltimore,
I mean, it's easy to pick somebody like Jalen Hurts, but I don't think Jalen Hurts is as explosive a player as Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
If we're looking to have a pure quarterback, Jake Fromm.
No.
He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in college the past few years. He didn't have any help last year. He had no wide receivers.
I don't think he's got the arm for the NFL.
He might not.
Not because he's
but he's accurate.
Bulldog. I just don't think he's got. I like the guy personally. I just don't think he's got the arm for the NFL. I don't think he can make all the throws. If you're going for a pure quarterback, I would go for Herbert. Herbert's better than Fromm if he's there.
I think he'll be there though. I think Tua goes to Miami.
Okay, I said Herbert, not Tua.
I know Miami's got the 5th pick. We got the 7th. I don't think he goes in between those two.
Oh, you don't think Herbert goes before Tua?
No.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Especially with him getting okay bill of health with his hip.
Yeah, but look at his ankles too.
Yeah, but they say them ankles are.
Them ankles, baby, they're
them
good.
Ankles are superhuman now.
Superhuman ankles.
Yeah.
Well, mine's not.
Nope.
But I didn't have the team he had, so.
No. Yours happened in an unfortunate sledding accident.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting, though. We didn't plan on talking about that, but I don't know. We'll see. I saw where we're projected to get in Mike Mayock's mock-up draft. We're supposed to get an offensive lineman, which Lord knows we need that also.
I mean, bad.
But I don't know, man. I guess we'll find out.
I feel like they're gonna.
It's interesting.
I do.
There's all those wide receivers too, you know. I mean, the draft's really going to be interesting this year. I think. I think it's a rich talent pool. Not only, you know, a lot of times you got the quarterbacks, defensive players, you know, some run. I mean, there seems to be a lot of talent in a lot of different places.
Yeah, I think so. There's definitely a ton at wide receiver.
Yeah. Which we need one of those.
We need everything.
That's true.
The only position
we still got to replace Luke Kuechly now.
The only position group that the Panthers have is running back, and they only got one.
Yeah.
But honestly, we don't know what Bonifant can do because McCaffrey plays 99% of the plays. So
yeah.
Which, you know.
Who replaces Luke?
Nobody.
Uh-huh.
We will never.
We'll see who the true Panthers fans are here in about 3 or 4 years, because it's going to be a rough stretch here.
We'll see the true Panthers fans after halfway through this year.
It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. It's going to be Chris Winkie 2.0. So
yeah, it's going to be bad.
We'll see what happens. But on Facebook, somebody was talking to Keith that he works with, and asked if we was going to cover NASCAR. Well, yay. I like NASCAR. I used to love NASCAR.
I was a freak.
Yeah, man.
NASCAR freak.
We didn't miss a race, bro.
No, we every Sunday.
Or Saturday. We was watching them. Never missed a race. Went to Charlotte every year, twice a year.
I would sit down and watch practice.
Hey, dude got hit. Dude got sun poisoning at 600.
Yeah.
For this stuff. I mean, on top of his head, it was terrible.
I loved the engineering aspect of it.
Yes, you did. And we was big fans.
And then Matt Kenseth had to win a championship, only winning one race, and they had to screw with the point system and piss me off about it, and I don't watch it no more.
So, speaking of that, and we're going to talk about something else here in a minute, but did you stop liking racing when they started the chase? Was that? I didn't mind the chase. The original chase didn't bother me because it still made sense to me.
It was okay.
I mean, it made sense. The most wins, you know, you get. You say it's like 100. You know, first place for going in the last 10 races, 100, 90, 80, 70, all the way down to 10th place, and those 10 guys could drive for the championship. That didn't bother me so bad. When they started the whole playoff I don't like that. I don't.
Yeah, like you're automatically guaranteed if you get a win.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Know, up to a certain point. Look, when it comes to points,
Mm-hmm.
the most consistent wins. And so, yeah, sure, you won 12 races, but you DNF'd all the other ones.
Yeah,
You're not a good driver to me.
You finish in the top 5 every
Matt
week.
Kenseth, yeah, he only won one race, but he was a top 5 finisher every week.
I
That
think,
is the best driver.
Yeah, I think that spurred, and we might be wrong, but no. When I say we watched this, I mean it was religious. I'm talking qualifying, practice, everything. Probably more so is racing in college football was it, but when Matt Kenseth done that, they implemented the chase, right?
Right.
And then Jimmy and Chad figured out if we do run consistent through the year, we'll lock down these 10 races.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You don't have to worry because you know what those 10 races are.
Yeah, and they locked that down. And then he had his long stretch, and you say what you want to, it's still a team sport. One of the greatest runs of any dynasty in any sports, period.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care what you say. And then people didn't like that, so they started switching it and changing it again.
And now you got stage racing. Stage racing, and you got them setting up fights in between haulers and stuff. I don't care what anybody says. That fight. I mean, I can't remember who it was, but
racing was built in the South. Okay, country folk, rednecks, what you say? They built moonshiners. They built racing. When you make the math complicated. And people can't understand it. It's hard to follow. I used to understand. If you win a race, you get these many points. If you led a lap, you got 5. If you was leading at the halfway point, you got 5. If you led the most laps, you got 5 points. Simple. Then they had to go and change it for the Yankees and make it difficult. We don't do math in the South, folks. We just want to see them go around. It's not difficult. They go in a circle. It's a left turn. It's another left turn. It's not hard to figure out. They had to make it difficult.
I think it was.
And then they put them stupid spoilers on there that one year. Absolutely hated that. Oh, it was terrible. I don't know. They ruined it, though. But anyway, what we're going to talk about, we're going to have a little debate-ish, is...
Well, it depends. I mean, we might see eye to eye on this.
We might. There's not really a Mount
I don't even know what the question is.
There's not really a Mount Rushmore of racing because there's 3. There's not 4. And if you don't know, Mount Rushmore has 4. Okay, so there's 3, in my opinion, greatest of all times, and you can argue if you want. There's one coming on, I think, that'll be there eventually, and that's Kyle Busch.
It took him a little while.
Now, I will say this. We watched, before they changed everything, we was watching me and Keith and my dad and my Uncle David, God rest his soul, went down to Charlotte. Went to the Busch race. It's still the Busch race then, I think, wasn't it?
I think so.
And Kyle had got the pole, but blew his engine in practice, so he had to switch engines, which put him at the back of the field. And
he was in the NASCAR.
Yeah,
NASCAR.
Yeah. I think it's 15 to 20 laps. Dude's from the back of the field to leading the race. One of the most impressive things I've ever seen live.
Hauling the mail, as they say.
Yeah, it was.
I just got goosebumps thinking about that.
It was amazing.
It was crazy.
That racing was amazing, Bubba.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you sit over there. I'm gonna sit over here beside them.
Yeah.
Hey, I miss that man, boy. I tell you. Hey, anyway, but I think Kyle will be there eventually, possibly. Maybe one of the worst decisions Rick Hendrick ever made, I thought, was letting Kyle go to get Dale. But Dale brought sponsorship money and fan money, so I can see that too. But there's Richard Petty, there's Dale Earnhardt, if you don't, the Intimidator, and then there's Jimmy.
And I agree with those 3.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know who wouldn't. You could make a case for a 4th with Cale Yarborough. And some of you may not know who these guys are. You can look them up. There's Cale Yarborough. Darrell Waltrip has got to be, if you're going through top 10, Darrell Waltrip's up there. Cale Yarborough, he won, 4 straight, I think? Or 3 straight, can't remember. See, Darrell, Cale.
I mean, you gotta mention at least Jeff Gordon.
Oh, yeah, easy. Jeff, Bill Elliott. And they're all good. but there's three. There's the King, there's the Intimidator, and then there's 7-time. Which they all won 7, but Jimmy just got the nickname 7-time because Richard was already the King and Dale was the Intimidator, the Man in Black. But so, out of those three, I want you to rank them 1 through 3.
The best.
And the reason I'm not saying anything is I looked up a bunch of statistics, and so mine might be weighed a little bit. A lot of times racing fans are passionate, and that's great. But they tend to, statistics aside, they vote on, or they
Sorry to the microphone.
yeah. Well, I thought it'd be loud. They hurt. They
argue with their heart.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. I can't get it out. So, with your heart.
Yeah. You want me to go 1 through 3 or 3 through 1?
I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
Okay. Number 1, I would put Jimmy Johnson.
Okay.
Number 1's Jimmy Johnson.
Number 1's Jimmy.
Number 2's Dale Earnhardt. And number 3's Richard Petty. Based solely on the fact that Jimmy did his in an era of racing that was way tougher from a not necessarily a skill point, but from a competition point. The cars are absolutely equal for the most part. The drivers have similar skills. So that little bit of edge that makes you a better driver is what he had.
Okay.
Yeah, Richard Petty won 200 races, but look at those races. Like back then, as long as you had a good car,
Right.
you won. Look at how many races he had and how many laps down everybody was. It was because his equipment was way better than anybody else's equipment. You know, his cars lasted. They were way fast. He figured out a way to make them faster than everybody, him and his crew chief, whatever. So a lot of those 200 wins, I don't feel like are that impressive.
Okay.
And Dale, you know, obviously he kind of split the gap there where, you know, the equipment was kind of inferior and came into the era where they tried to make everything as even as possible. And he did a lot of his not just because of pure skill, but just because of pure aggressiveness. He'll move you out of the way. It's not necessarily that he had the skill to get around you. He just didn't care to wreck you. So that's why I put him second. But Jimmy is number 1 to me. And you know me, when we were hardcore in racing, I couldn't stand Jimmy Johnson. He was winning everything. He's just in an era where it's harder to win in NASCAR, to me.
I agree. All right. So, you said Richard was 3.
Yeah.
All right. So, he's the all-time wins leader. Is Richard, the King. 200 wins, like you said. He also holds the record for the most wins in a season. You know how many that was?
No, I have no clue.
27.
27, but how many races did they race that year, you wonder?
Well, I don't know.
Probably wasn't 36, but 27 in a year is a lot.
You think they raced more or less?
I think they might have done more.
27 is a lot of wins.
Yeah, it is. I mean, still, if you raced every weekend, that's only probably 52 races.
Yeah. He also holds the record for the most poles in a career. You know, I mean, that was
No, I'm sure it's hundreds.
123. Well, one that really stuck out in my mind is he holds the record for the most consecutive wins. Like, you know, back to back to back to back to back. You know how many that was? I mean, you probably don't know, but you're going to guess.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
10.
10.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, but I mean,
Now,
your car is so
also
much better than everybody else's.
He also has the most all-time wins at Daytona with 10. I thought that was Dale. Dale won the 500 one time, but every other race there, Dale dominated.
Yeah, but that's also probably including the Busch races he ran and stuff too. But I don't know about
now
Richard, if that's 10 actual Cup wins.
Now his championships, obviously 7, but 64, 66, 71, 73, 74, 79, and 81. And he won the Daytona 500 winner. He was a Southern 500 winner like 3 or 4 times, which is not a big deal anymore, but back then it was. It was a huge deal back then.
Oh yeah, big time.
Now Dale, let's see. He was a 6-time winner of the Busch Clash, which is what we would call the Bud Shootout.
Yeah.
He has, how many wins did I say he had at Daytona?
10.
Okay, that's 500.
He had 10 500 wins.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Now, Dale holds the record for most victories at Daytona with 34.
Okay, yeah, that makes way more sense.
He won at least one race in 15 consecutive seasons, running from 82 to 96, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, considering how many people get shut out over here.
He had 676 career starts with 648 consecutive. It's pretty good. Led over 25,000 laps during his career.
During his career.
14 top 5 point finishes and 22 full seasons. And he finished in the top 10 20 times. That's being consecutive. Or not consecutive. That's being, what's that word you used? Consistent. That's a lot of consistency there.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. He won the first Winston Cup pole in June 8th, 1979 at Riverside International Speedway. And I don't even know where that is.
It's in California. They don't race there anymore.
He's a 7-time winner of the Goodies 300. Don't really know what that is either. Let's see here. What else we got? He won Rookie of the Year in 1979 and has 76 career wins. It's pretty good. And then his championships started in, where did they start at? Let's see here. Here we go. 80, and then he didn't win another until 86, and then he won 87 back-to-back. Then he won in 90 and 91 back-to-back, and then he won 93 and 94.
Back-to-back.
Back-to-back. So, that's pretty good.
Yeah, 76 career wins, but it's, like I said, it was way more impressive when he did it. I would be interested to see how many of Richard Petty's 200 wins were pre-1975.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, if you look at it, he won his last championship in 81.
In 81.
Dale come on the scene, won Rookie of the Year, 79?
Yeah, 79.
So, that might tell you what you need to know. Now, Jimmy. Between 2002 and 2017, Jimmy recorded 7 championships, 83 career race wins, 222 top 5s, 341 top 10s, and 35 pole positions. He hasn't won a race since 2017, I think. And
yeah, but he's getting old.
Yeah. Now, this to me is what's impressive. He won the championship in 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, and 2010. 5 in a row.
Yeah.
That's saying
I
something.
mean, come on. In the hardest era of NASCAR,
Yeah.
when everything is equal,
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that separates is the driver and the crew chief.
Yeah, he had checking outs, which helped a lot.
Absolutely.
Maybe the greatest crew chief of all time.
Yeah. I would say he is.
Yeah. So.
But, you know, it's one of those things. We talk about Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Who's responsible, you know?
I don't know. Well, I think we're seeing. I don't know. I don't know who Chad's with right now. He's with somebody. It's either Alex Bowman or
Yeah, I don't know.
the other guy.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
I haven't kept up with it.
Daniel Suarez, maybe. I can't remember. But I just feel like they killed racing, man. They've ruined it.
I mean, I like the equal playing field as far as the equipment and stuff. Just because that really separates who the best driver is. Like I said, with Richard Petty, Who knows if he was the best driver? He just had the best equipment that would last longer than everybody, or it was just
the rules
way
were
better.
restrictive, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I feel like too, especially living in North Carolina, and Dale being a Carolina guy, and so was Richard. But you know, if Dale was still alive, would people still make the argument that he's the greatest of all time? Because I feel like talking about bringing back, you know, talking about Kobe. Kobe was considered one of the greats, but the fact that he passed early
has people now talking about him being the greatest of all time.
Yes, when that wasn't always a conversation.
Yeah, people would hate on Kobe.
Yes,
it wasn't until he died that people were like,
right.
You know what? Actually, he really was good.
Right. People either loved or hated Dale, but when he passed, most people,
even the Jeff Gordon fans that hated him,
yes,
would say that he was the greatest.
So it's hard to say.
Would he have won more championships if
No.
he wouldn't? You think he was done with his championships?
Well, I don't know, because I mean, when he died, he was running third and possibly could have probably passed Michael and Junior if he wanted to. In all honesty, he was blocking. I mean, we all know that. If you don't know that, that's what happened. He was blocking, and to let Mikey and Junior
finish 1-2
and him
because
3.
he owned the cars,
right? And so I feel like, you know,
it was a business decision that went the wrong way.
The way knowing
the funniest
him,
thing you've ever said is don't race with Sterling Marlin.
Don't.
He'll kill you.
He will.
Bad joke.
He got death threats, bro.
I guarantee it.
He did.
It wasn't his fault.
Nah. It really wasn't, but it was just racing.
Yeah.
But I feel like Dale probably could have passed him too. Because he was obviously the better driver.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really have a problem with Junior. Never was a big Junior fan. You were.
Yeah.
Junior just
starting out.
Yeah, Junior. I don't know. He's good at restrictor plates. That's about it. Michael Waltrip run 2.500. That's about all he's ever done. And DEI now is
trash.
It's a shame, man. It's a shame, really. But
that's my thing. Like when they did that car tomorrow, that really separated. You couldn't just hop in the car and just wheel your way to a win. That was it was. You had to be a finesse driver.
Yes.
And that's when Jimmy started winning all of his championships, is when the car tomorrow came out. Because he's more of a finesse driver. And you have to rely more on your engineering skills.
It's hard for me. I was a Jimmy fan. Or still am. But, I grew up a Dale fan. Indoctrinated with it, obviously. My daddy was he's a red dirt road racer. Yeah. But anyway, I started pulling for Dale when I was little. Didn't know no better. Don't regret it. Still remember where I was when he died. Jimmy was very consistent, and he won 5 in a row, and that's hard to argue against. However, I feel like Jimmy had the absolute best crew chief that's ever done it. He had the best equipment.
But Larry McReynolds wasn't no slouch either.
No, he wasn't. But, and it's really, honestly, it's an unfair argument. Because each guy caught the other guy. Well, Jimmy actually didn't, but if Dale would have survived, yeah, man, they're coming up in their prime. They're on their way out. You know, the way Dale caught Richard, the way Jimmy would have caught Dale if the accident hadn't happened. To me, one of the most impressive things with Dale, and we haven't talked about it, is he won a race at Bristol. And like 25 laps in, his power steering went out. And he raced that whole race and won with no power steering. And people say, that ain't no big deal. If you ain't ever drove a car without power steering, that's pretty darn impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Especially at Bristol. Because you're constantly on the wheel.
That's all you're doing is turning.
And, you got a lot of guys today who are really good oval racers. They can't drive road courses. Dale could. Dale could win he could win at Daytona or Talladega. he could win Richmond or Bristol, and then he could go to Watkins Glen and dominate. So I'm torn, I guess. I don't know.
It's the nostalgia.
It's the nostalgia of it, but also just looking at some of the things that Dale's done in a car that I don't know. The passing the grass. There's all those things. Some of the things he's done in a car. You know, he Junior was good at restrictor plate racing. And the aerodynamics things and seeing all that, that's a real thing. Then it has to be talked about when you talk about restrictor plate in the super speedways.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think they'll ever... I'm not saying he's better than Jimmy. I'm not saying Jimmy's better than him, but I don't think there'll ever be a better restrictor plate racer than Dale Sr. Nobody could use the draft as good as Dale.
I don't know. I agree with that. 100%.
In that sense. So I don't know. Is Jimmy the...
It's the same. It's the same
Jimmy might have had a better career and be the top, the
more
best
statistics. And
yeah, I don't know that he's necessarily the hands down, all around best driver. I agree with you at Richard at 3. I mean, nothing against the King, but
it was definitely a different time.
Totally,
like we were talking about Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points. Like it's a totally different time.
Yeah. So Richard's 3.
But
I don't know, man. It's hard. The better driver to me is Dale, but I don't know that he's the better.
He doesn't have all the stats to back it up.
Right.
But here's that's
one
the
Daytona 500 win.
People will be like, well, Dale, they're going to remember those iconic moments.
And that's exactly right.
And that's why they're going to say that. Like,
and I knew that coming into
like
this.
Like I said, the passing the grass.
Yeah, all that.
I just meant to rattle his cage and you know, all those things that made Dale Dale.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't necessarily mean that he was the best driver. He
was the most aggressive.
Yeah, he just made these incredible moments that you didn't think possible.
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily because he's the best driver, but he had the biggest pair.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it worked out in his favor a lot of the times. But like I said, it was just. It wasn't as tough to win back then, I don't think.
I don't know. I was thinking about that because I knew that would be one of your arguments because we've talked about this before. But
he did race with legends.
My point being, you had so Jimmy. Let's look at the field. Jimmy had obviously Jeff, who was by then up and down maybe.
Carl Edwards was good. Matt Kenseth was good.
Kurt actually won a championship in the Rubbermaid car in '97. I don't know if anybody remembers that. Good. Kyle was coming on. Who else would you name? What's his face? That drove for Roush. Not Jeff Bodine. Golly.
Jeff Burton?
Burton.
Yeah. I mean, Denny Hamlin was okay.
Oh, I hate that guy. I'll tell you why I hate Denny Hamlin, now that we're on this, just so the whole world knows. Okay, so there was a race when we were still watching it. Denny makes a mistake on pit road. He speeds on pit road, right? And it cost him the lead, and he goes a lap down. That's okay. I'll get it back. Okay. The following week, his tire was it his tire changer, or the guy that it was one of them. It was somebody.
Yeah,
so
one of the crew.
One of the crew members made a mistake. Guess what happened to him? He got fired. So I don't because Denny pitched a fit. So from there on, I ain't like Denny Hamlin. Never will. And, and you can't base, and a lot of people's going to come back with the argument, well, Dale only won one Daytona 500. You can't base the fact that somebody won a Daytona 500.
No, they don't have nothing to do with
that they're being great. Because if that's the case, Wood Button is one of the greatest of all time. Oh, Wood. Because Wood won. But everybody else was wrecked, so.
Yeah.
But now in Dale's day, you had Richard on the end of his career. Because he still won a championship in 81. So you had Richard. Jeff's coming on young.
God. You had
Rusty Wallace, Terry Labonte,
Bobby Labonte,
the interstate car, yeah, boy.
Mark Martin.
He was one of the most consistent of all time. He never won a championship, but he was very consistent.
He's probably, to me, he's the greatest that never won a championship.
The never win a championship was Mark? There's a lot of people that would, oh, man. there's a lot of people who would say, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Mark. Yeah, Mark was really good. To never win a championship, though, was he the best? Did Rusty win a championship? I'm pretty sure he didn't he? Did not win one in Skull Bandit quarterback before we was born? Now, you got to think, we were hardcore, so we went back and watched a lot of old races, too, and stuff.
I can't remember right off the top of my head. I want to say he did.
Possibly. I'm trying to think of who didn't win a championship. I don't know. We should have looked that up. Of course, we didn't plan on talking about that, but...
Yeah, it just kind of sprung on us.
But it was interesting to you know. And when Jimmy was coming through, there was a lot more emphasis on team racing. Also,
I mean, yeah, I can understand that too.
There wasn't necessarily that in Richard and Dale's day.
No, it was, especially in Richard's day. It was, every man for himself.
Right. I mean, I think.
But with Jimmy, yeah, you don't leave your teammate out to dry.
And there's a lot more resources to pull from for testing.
Yeah.
Also, and
yeah. They share notes with each other.
Right. And they didn't have that back. Later on in Dale's career, he ended up getting a teammate. It was Mike Skinner, I think, in the AOL car. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Mike did really good in the Busch series and in the truck series too. It never really panned out in NASCAR. I wish NASCAR was still the Winston Cup.
You can't say that. Cigarettes.
I know. And then it went to, it was Winston, Nextel.
Nextel Cup.
And then, and now it's Monster, but it was something before that.
Yeah, I don't even remember what it was.
Sprint Cup.
Yeah, there was Sprint Cup.
Something else. I don't remember. But I watch F1 racing and drag racing more than I do NASCAR now. I love F1 racing.
Yeah, I like it too. I like it because it's more technical.
Hamilton is amazing.
Yeah, that dude is. Now you talk about one of the greatest drivers, period, of all time. Lewis Hamilton is the man.
That dude is a freak. If you don't know who that is, look at that. Look his stats up, man. He's ridiculous.
I put one on the other day. He was in the lead by 40 seconds.
And that's really impressive in F1.
Oh yeah.
But it's a shame. We live where we do. I've never been to the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
No, it's only been open for less than 10 years.
Yeah, I've never been there. I've been to all the race shops. I don't know if you went with us or not to any of those.
I've been to DEI. I went to Stuart Haas. We went to Hendrick.
Yeah. Hendrick's nice.
Yeah, Hendrick's awesome.
Stuart Haas was nice.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that drives for Kevin Harvick? Kevin Harvick was racing when Jimmy was coming around. Still is racing and Jimmy's there. Kevin Harvick's a great race car driver.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't know a lot of the new cats. I know there's Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman, and that's about it.
Yeah, Austin Dillon.
Yeah.
Which there was a big fuss about him getting the 3.
How do you feel about that?
I'm fine with it.
Are you?
That's not Dale's number. He didn't own that number.
He didn't own the number.
Hendrick owns that number. Or not Rick Hendrick, Richard Childress owns that number. That is his number that was designated to Dale.
So do you
The only person that would have ever brought that number back is somebody that's related to Richard Childress, which Austin Dillon is his nephew.
Grandson.
Or grandson, whatever.
That is, their mom was a Childress. So.
Yeah. I get the point that nobody wants to see the 3 on the track because that's Dale Earnhardt's number and whatnot. I actually had this conversation the other day, but...
Well, if that's the case...
They should have... Richard Childress should have just retired the number.
Yeah, but you said Dale don't own the number.
No.
He don't own the number.
Not technically, not legally.
Legally, he don't own the number.
No.
And that's how you justify it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Richard Childress can do with his number what he feels like.
So in basketball and football and baseball, we shouldn't retire jersey numbers.
I'm not saying you shouldn't retire jersey numbers.
I'm just asking.
I'm just saying,
should somebody else wear the 8 in L.A.? Should LeBron don the 8 jersey?
If the Los Angeles Lakers deem it...
Would you be okay with that?
I wouldn't care. I don't have a dog in the fight. It wouldn't bother me.
What was Peyton in Tennessee? 16?
16. It's retired, but if they unretired it,
That'd be okay with you?
I don't care. Yeah.
Do you think the Tennessee faithful would be okay with that?
No, they wouldn't. They would absolutely hate it. But at some point, you got to quit retiring jerseys because somebody awesome is going to wear a jersey, and we're going to end up wearing triple digits.
No, I don't think so because it's only once in a lifetime players.
I know, but just think how far these sports continue.
Does LA retire the 8 and the 24?
Probably.
You know why he chose 24?
I can't remember what it was.
Wasn't it because he was better than Jordan? So he went 24
I
instead
don't
of
know
23?
if that was the case or not.
That's what everybody said.
Yeah.
He's one up on Jordan.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the case or not.
See somebody in Chicago wear the 23?
Like I said, it's up to the team. They own the numbers. It's up to them.
Okay. If you owned the Lakers and LeBron comes in, he's like, hey, I want to change my jersey number to 8, you going to let him? If it's your choice.
If it's my choice?
Your choice. You're the owner.
I would say no.
Okay.
Unless my grandson wants to come in. That's always been his number. That's Austin Dillon. Austin Dillon was always number 3 growing up. Since he was a little...
Oh, Dale Jarrett. We forgot about Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, Dale Jarrett.
You know what made me think of that? Was talking about numbers when Dale left and he was the 8, and then people had all them stupid
all the
Dale Earnhardt tattoos.
Yeah.
So he do it to 88 to try to help people out a little bit.
Yeah, so they all had to do was go make another 8 on their tattoo. I do remember that. See, that's another instance of that.
That's true.
DEI on number 8, and they wouldn't let him have number 8. They wouldn't let him take it with him, even though that was technically his number.
By the way, Florida.
I forgot about that.
It's redneck. I told you it's a southern sport. We don't do math in the South.
Well, why did Dale Earnhardt Jr. take Dale Jarrett's number? She did.
Dale Jarrett wasn't great.
No, but he respected him, right?
I guess. Ain't he from Hickory?
Hickory.
You remember when Dale was watching? I think was we watching it? I don't know. I might have been too young. I was watching it. I don't know if I was with you or not. Ned Jarrett's crying when Dale Jarrett wins the Daytona 500.
We wasn't watching it.
You've seen it though.
Yeah.
Pretty cool moment in sports, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. Same thing with Darryl Waltrip when
we should do that.
Michael won.
We should do a podcast on like the top 10 sports calls of all time.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
But I don't know, man.
So how do you feel about the 3?
I don't think he should. I don't think anybody's right. No. And then just like nobody should. Listen, NASCAR is its own. Excuse me, is its own entity, and they should. I'm getting choked up. Not because I'm sad. Sorry. About to crow over Dale over here. No, I'm just kidding. Man, people did.
Dale.
People did.
I remember being in high school and people coming in wearing their 3 crying.
Yeah, people didn't even know like racing, you know?
Yeah.
But what was I talking about? Oh, what would I do? I think NASCAR as a whole should retire 3 numbers.
Number 3,
48, and the 43.
Yeah, see that.
There's only, they've won 7.
But see, it's a brand.
It is.
The number is a brand. You see the 43, yeah, you might think Richard Petty, but you think Richard Petty Racing.
Well, now.
Yeah.
But.
Which I can't remember who he drove for back then.
I have no idea.
But just like.
Wasn't the Wood Brothers.
I was going to say, just like the number 21.
Oh,
it's not
synonymous with the Wood Brothers.
Yeah.
But they've never had the caliber of driver of those 3.
It's just like you see the number 3 on the track, you know that's a Richard Childress driver.
That's a Dale Earnhardt number.
You see number 24 out there.
That's a Jeff Gordon.
You know
number.
That's Rick Hendrick.
You know his other 2 numbers? You remember? They got 4.
Rick Hendrick?
Yeah, he's got 4.
He's got 24, 48, and then he had the 88
before
with
that.
Dale. But before that, he had it was a single digit. I almost said 9, but that was Ray Evernham.
It was
9 and 19.
Yep.
With Jeremy Mayfield and his mess smoking.
Boy, that took the NASCAR world by shock, didn't it?
If that's not a southern sport, race car driver that smokes meth.
Man, we got to change all the math.
Yeah. Anyway,
There was 15, which was Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
But I don't remember Terry Labonte's number. Terry Labonte drove for him.
18.
No, that was...
Not Terry Labonte. 5. Number 5.
5.
5.
Who drove 5?
Frosty
Flakes car.
Casey Mears drove it at one point, I thought.
Well, that's a name you ain't heard in a while. From Bahama, North Carolina. I used to get so aggravated.
These drivers, it's just like with... They've switched so often, I can't remember who's drove for who.
Yeah.
You don't get that loyalty anymore.
Okay, well, I'm going to spit some numbers out. And I want you to tell me... And then we're just... Anyway, how long we been going? Oh, we got to hurry. Okay, so I'm going to spit some numbers out. You tell me the first player you think of.
First player?
Player, driver, anything.
Okay.
I'm just going to... I don't know. Number 2.
I'm thinking Rusty Wallace.
Okay. Then, obviously, number 3.
Dale Earnhardt.
Okay. If you had said Austin Dillon, somebody would have been mad. Would have been me, but somebody. 99.
Carl Edwards.
Are we still on NASCAR?
I don't know who else would. Who do you think number 99?
I don't have a clue, bro.
Exactly.
Dwayne Ledford at East Carolina.
Boom.
Bam.
Bam.
When he was... Is that when he played defense? I don't remember. Anyway. Number 7.
Number 7.
I know who comes to my mind. Just because of our age.
Who? Jeter.
I didn't, as a Yankees fan, I didn't even think.
Wasn't he number 7?
Yeah, but I didn't even think about that. I was thinking Michael Vick. Because he wore in college and NFL.
Yeah. Jeter was a guess. I didn't know for a fact that he wore 7.
No, he didn't.
That's what I was saying.
He wore number 2.
He did wear number 2.
And you said Rusty Wallace.
Yeah.
Loser. You could tell we was NASCAR fans. Let's see. Wow. 16.
16. Peyton at Tennessee.
18.
Peyton.
He didn't wear the same number in college as he did in the NFL. A lot of people thought he did. I know, but a lot of people thought that. Number 1.
The only one I can think of right off the top of my head is Cam.
I think it's Cam and Steve Parks.
Yeah, Steve
Who
Parks.
would have been amazing if it hadn't been for that freak accident.
Yeah. Terrible accident.
Yeah, it was freakish is what it was. I mean, what's the chances? 27.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe 27.
Not off the top of my head, anyway.
23.
That's Jordan all day.
Not LeBron.
No, it's Jordan.
A lot of people would say LeBron.
Yeah, well, they're probably younger than us as well.
Yeah. Number 5.
That would have to be a driver. Like I said, I can't remember who was driving number 5.
They don't have to be a driver.
But that's the only thing I'm thinking of.
22.
22.
I got one.
Ward Burton.
No. Emmitt Smith.
Emmitt Smith.
At Dallas.
How many 22? There's been a... number 20.
Number 20?
Yeah.
Walter Payton.
Barry Sanders.
Did Walter Payton wear 20?
I don't know.
Barry did wear 20.
He definitely did.
Wow.
This shows how ignorant we are.
No, I mean, it's just... You can't think of stuff sometimes.
On the spot, anyway.
69.
I don't know anybody. Jordan Gross.
Me. East McDowell Junior High. Best defensive ends ever played. You heard it here. Coach Comer. Coach Hawkins.
They still owe me a pizza.
This guy. I saw Hawkins the other day. Some of you ain't going to know who that is. Saw him at the Y, actually. Looks really good.
Still mumbling.
Yeah, I loved that guy, though, man. I really did. I loved Comer. Even when he made us run the hill. I'm trying to think. You've not said, well, other than 23. Number 8.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Ooh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh. Not Kobe.
Steve Young.
Hey, hang on a minute. Hang on. Talk to people.
Uh-oh. There's no telling what he's getting ready to do. Oh, he's going over to my card stash here. This is now turned into a game of trivia.
Well, I mean, it's something to do. Hang on. This is what we do stupid stuff all the time. Okay. Number 3. Other than Dale.
I don't know. Just tell me the player. Allen Iverson. Just tell me the player. I'll tell you the number.
You think so?
Yeah.
Junior Seau.
55.
Good job. That's Kobe. Oh, here we go. 16.
You're supposed to tell me the player.
I don't want to tell you the player. Not on this one.
Well, who does he play for?
He played for the Niners.
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana. Who wore it better? Joe. Tim Hardaway.
Oh, God. I have no idea. 20-something.
I'm going to knock this thing over
Yeah,
a minute.
you are.
I'm trying not to. Number 5.
Number 5, Tim Hardaway.
33. I ain't even tell you the player. If you don't know it. Of course, I probably wouldn't either. But
Scottie Pippen.
no. No.
I'm trying to think of what card.
Indiana State University.
Larry Bird.
Yeah. Karl Malone.
I don't know.
32.
There was a lot of 32s. A lot of big men wore 32.
All right. 41. Played for Charlotte Hornets.
Lonzo Mourning.
No. Glenn Rice.
Glenn Rice.
Sean Kemp.
He's in the 40s.
He was number 40. Good job. We already did. Dennis Rodman.
Pistons Rodman? Or
Yes. Pistons Rodman.
There's a number in the
From
teens.
1 to 10.
1 to 10. 9.
10.
10. Oh, see, he was in the 90s. Wasn't he? Didn't he wear like a 90s jersey in the.
I don't remember.
Bulls?
I don't
can't
remember. Reggie Miller.
He's in the 30s.
He is.
31.
Yes. Good job, buddy. Another. Grant Hill.
He's in the 30s as well.
He is.
33.
Yes. Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, that's. Well, is it Orlando Magic?
L.A.
L.A. Because he was 32 in Orlando and 34
Yeah.
in L.A.
Good job. You're getting some of them right. I'm proud of you. Penny Hardaway. Or Anthony.
That was number 1.
It was. Proud of you.
That should have been the number 1 I went with.
I would agree.
I didn't even think of Penny Hardaway. I hate him now that he
Okay.
coaches at Memphis.
Dennis Rodman in Chicago. I got it now. I know what it is.
You do have it now?
Yeah.
It's got it's in the 90s, isn't
Is
it?
it?
I don't know.
Won't look. See? Okay. Okay.
It's going to be backwards when you show it.
I don't
'cause
care.
we're on
They'll
the
figure it
front
out.
Facing.
Look the other way.
98.
91.
91.
Stephon Marbury.
I don't know.
3.
He's crazy.
Man, I remember watching him with my dad when I was little when he played at Georgia Tech. That dude was a freak. I don't know what happened.
Had an attitude problem.
Something.
He liked
Anyway.
to choke coaches and.
Yeah, that he did. Dan Marino.
Oh, God. Dan Marino.
Think Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that don't help me at all.
Okay. Think your number on NCAA football, basketball.
13.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Jerry Rice.
80.
Hands down. You had to know that one, right? You get a lot of Jerry Rice cards, bro. Drew Bledsoe.
12.
No. 11.
11.
Brett Favre.
4.
Yes. That's MJ. You know that one. You already got. Oh, okay. Here we go. Well, I didn't get his number on there, and I don't know it. I think Patrick Ewing. Do you remember what number he was? I don't either.
30 something.
Yeah, he's something like that. Ah, here we go. Hakeem Olajuwon. Prettiest hook shot ever.
32.
4.
34.
Mm-hmm.
Notice on that one they didn't spell it with a H.
They did.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hakeem. I said Hakeem, so.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Jason Kidd.
5.
How do you remember that one? I'm
I
surprised.
like Jason Kidd.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Marshall Faulk.
He's in the 20s.
28.
Because back in the day, football, if you were single digit to the teens, you were a quarterback.
The way it used to work, yeah.
If you were in the 20s and 30s, you was running back, fullback. 80s was tight ends and wide receivers. Your 60s were your offensive linemen. 90s were your defensive linemen. 50s were your linebackers. So the older ones is kind of easy to kind of narrow it down.
Herschel Walker.
34.
Good job. You should have known that one. And you did. Thurman Thomas.
I don't know.
Another 34.
Was it 34?
Yeah. Let me see here. Michael Irvin.
88.
Yeah.
Best to ever wear 88?
Probably. I forgot about that cat. Ken Griffey Jr.
I don't know. I wasn't big into baseball back then.
Yeah. Somebody will know because there ain't no jersey on here with his number on it, so we don't know. Then Mark McGuire, I don't even remember what number he wore when he won the home run.
It got bigger because of steroids.
Oh, burn. Anyway, that was interesting.
Yeah, no, we did 15 minutes. I guess the jersey number.
Yeah. Well, other people probably can do it. And
yeah, they're probably going to be like, "Man, you're an idiot."
That's okay.
Dummy.
But anything else that you can think of?
All right, off the top of my head, I don't. Once free agency starts, we'll be able to talk a little bit more about which teams upgraded and which teams are now favorites in the NFL. Baseball spring training's started. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's kind of a dead period for sports a little bit. That's why I'm hoping the XFL does.
I like the NBA. You don't follow it as much.
No, I'm more of college basketball.
Are you gonna watch the 500?
I may cut it on just to see if it strikes my fancy again.
No.
I feel like I've been out of touch with it for so long that it would take me forever to try to figure it out, and then they change everything every year.
I know.
But it wouldn't be no different than when I didn't know anything about it at all and first started watching it. So I might cut it on.
Do you have a picture of your son poisoned head?
No.
I wish you did.
It's back before cell phones had cameras on them.
Was it really?
Probably, yeah.
We're that old?
Yeah, we're that old. We probably didn't even text message then.
What year was that?
It was my junior year.
2003, 2002 then.
Yeah. Between 2001 2003.
Wow. That's been an age ago. But thanks for listening to Rocky Swamp. We hope you had a good time. And listen to us next time. We'll see what happens. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
I'm sure something crazy will happen.
I would like to do the sports calls.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
If we could figure out a way to maybe
blend them in with where they can hear it, and then we talk about it.
Yeah, because I got a couple in mind now. I think it'll be pretty interesting. Anyway, thanks for watching and listening.